Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Raeshad from RashadBeats.com. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why being alone can be healthy. And I know as weird as that sounds, like, why do you want to be alone? Why would you want to be alone and stuff like that? But understand that being alone is probably the most efficient tool that you could ever use into understanding what you need to do next, whether you're getting prepared to move on into the next stage of life or you're trying to make a good transition in your life. It plays a good role being by yourself because you start to understand who you are and you start to pull the answers from deep within inside of you. So before I get started with this video, I want to shoot a quick little disclaimer. I am not promoting being lonely, being miserable, being depressed, or anything like that. This video is a video that's going to be all about positive things, the positive things of being alone and the benefits that you have when you are alone. Just a positive video altogether. This is not no video in any way telling you be alone for the rest of your life. This is not a relationship video, nothing like that. This is just different ways. This is just healthy ways that being alone can work. So whether you take it like that or not, I don't give a fuck. It's my video. But understand that this is a positive video. All I ever do is positive. So positive vibes only. Positive vibes. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Reason number 1, self-awareness. When you're alone, you start to see more and more of yourself. You start to realize that there's more to you than that meets the eye. So self-awareness is a big thing because once you start to be more self-aware with yourself as a person, you start to realize your weaknesses, your strengths, and you start to build upon those. You'll begin to build upon those strengths and weaknesses that you have, and you start to use those to your advantage depending on a certain situation. When you're by yourself, you start to realize that it's just you, and you start to see that there are different things about you that even you didn't know. You know what I mean? And the self-awareness begins to kick in because you start to realize, like, okay, this is something that I've been doing that I really didn't even want to do from the beginning. You start to kind of tap into your subconscious a little bit because you're like, alright, I've been doing all these things subconsciously, unknowingly, knowing that it's something that I don't want to do. So you start to realize, like, alright, so the shit that I've been doing is something that I've never been wanting to do from the forefront, from the beginning. So you start to cut those things out. So it's very powerful because you start to realize who you really are. You start to realize there are goals and ideas and things that you need to get done that only you can achieve when you have better self-awareness. You know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, you know that there's things that you can do, you know there's things that you can't do. You start to build off those things all because you understand that you understand who you are as a person. You explore yourself a lot more. That's one reason why being alone is healthy. You start to explore yourself a little bit more and you open more doors for different opportunities concerning your mental stability or your emotional stability, like just being emotionally stable and mentally stable and kind of like controlling yourself. It's more of a control tactic to keep yourself in check because you know how to keep yourself in control. You realize, like, okay, this is how my subconscious runs, this is how my brain thinks. I can go ahead and maneuver the way I like for my liking. So yes, self-awareness is one of the best reasons, and that's why it's the first reason of why being alone can be healthy. Now, the second reason, peace and quiet. Like, when you by yourself, ain't no better time than just being quiet and alone. You chilling, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're playing a video game by yourself, you're relaxing, reading a book, it's peaceful. It's meditation. You know what I mean? You're by yourself, and people actually meditate when they're alone. You start to relax a little bit more. Like, you start to kind of relieve, like, your everyday anxieties. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, like, you got a job, and you're very anxious at the job because you don't know when they might let you go. You working hard, you don't know, you know what I'm saying? You're pretty much looking like expendable. Maybe you don't like going outside that much. It relieves you of things in your life that kind of stress you out and give you anxiety. So, you know what I'm saying? So the peace and quiet helps, you know what I'm saying? And being alone is the perfect time to really just sit back and recollect on everything and reflect. That's the best thing about it. And that's one of the most important parts about being alone, is reflecting on what you're doing, what you want to do, and where you want to go as far as what you want to do with your life and things along that nature. So yeah, it's always good to reflect. When you're alone, you have a tendency to do it anyway because it's just you. There's nobody else around. Search deeper for who you are as a person. So yes, that's the second reason why being healthy. That's the second reason why being alone is healthy, because peace and quiet. Everybody wants peace and quiet. Third and final reason, ideas. Now personally, I feel like I get my best ideas when I'm by myself. I'm alone, completely alone. I'm isolated. I'm just in my own solace. I'm in my own area of peace. I start coming up with dope ideas when I'm by myself. Like, oh, I can do that and I can do this, and all these things start popping up in my head, because I feel like when you're alone, you start pulling answers out for your questions that you've been trying to get answered for a while out of yourself. You know what I mean? And the magic with that is you ultimately answered your own question. You know what I mean? You ultimately are answering your own prayers in this case. You know what I'm saying? The main reason why it's important that you're alone, and the main reason why it's important that you reflect on these certain situations, is because there's gonna be times in life where you're gonna be stuck with whatever you're doing, and you're gonna need new ideas. And you know, once you come up with these ideas, whether you like them or not, you're coming up with different solutions and different answers that can potentially solve each and every problem for what you have going on in your life right now. So that's why being alone can be healthy, because you start to realize who you are as a person. Nobody can have control over you because you understand who you are. You know that there are certain things that you don't rock with, there's certain things that you do rock with, and you know, people can't really control what you have to say, control what you do. You have complete power of yourself and your mind, your mental, your emotions. You have complete control of that. That's why it's very important to be alone, because you can never inherit somebody's outer forces. I would say they're outer forces of, you know, pretty much you can't inherit somebody's habits, because you gotta understand, when you're hanging with certain people, whatever those certain people are doing, you're gonna be doing the same exact thing as those certain people. So if there are 3 broke dudes over there, you're the richest dude over there, and you start hanging with those broke dudes, you're eventually going to be broke just like them. You'll be the 4th addition to that broke group. So being alone can be a healthy experience for anybody. It can be very helpful for a person who needs to look for themselves, because you just have time to think, and you have time to put the pieces together, and you have time to come up with the next plan for the next motion. So it is very important that you take some time out for yourself to be alone, whether it's relaxing, playing a game, getting some meditation in, or maybe you're just chilling, reading a book. It doesn't matter. Take some time to be alone. Don't be around people all the time. I'm not saying it's wrong to be around people all the time. Humans are sociable creatures in general, but it's important that you don't be around as many different groups as possible, because you start to inherit their habits depending on what their habits is. But if you do hang out with certain groups, hang out with people that are going to make you better. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with people that's going to make you better no matter what. If you hang out with 5 rich folk, you're gonna be rich. If you hang out with 6 rich, if you hang out with 5 rich, if you hang out with 5 different rich people, and you know, you're trying to become rich and whatever, you're average, you're at an average level, you're middle, I would say middle class. You stick with them and you learn from them, and you know, they start winning, you start winning too, and you'll be on your way to become a rich person. Stick with certain individual groups, you know what I'm saying? But understand, self-awareness that comes from being alone will stabilize you enough to be like, okay, you can start spotting these people out to see if they really have good intentions for your future or not. So take some time out, man. Just be alone, reflect. You know what I'm saying? This is not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. Don't feel like you're so lonely, and you know what I mean. Don't feel like you're you know what I'm saying, you don't got no friends or nothing like that. It's none of that corny shit. Just take some time out for yourself and really sit down and really think about what you want to do next for yourself, because once you start getting control of the situation in which you're like, all right, let me sit back and relax and put the pieces together, that's when you have complete control of your life. That's when you have complete control of your life, because now you can be like, all right, I'm ready to make the next move. I know what I got to do. And you put the action, and as soon as you put the action towards that, you'll go ahead and spring right along into the next platform. And that's pretty much it, man. If you guys like this video, please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, I'd appreciate it. Any questions, hit my email. Pretty much it, man. Raeshad Beats out. Take some time out to be alone. Peace.